not a writer.
Okay.
For those who...
What we do here is go back.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother...
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I'm your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. Rocking the Titans. Tetons, as it's badly dubbed in the English version. The Tetons. Where in the hell did they get that? I'm trying to curb my language. Pardon me. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It's Monday. Hi. Yeah. Been an interesting one today. But we'll get to that in a second. If you want one of these cool-ass Tetons shirts, hit up www.childofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You'll find shirts and hats and other cool stuff. Go get you some. And if you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we are working with here tonight, there's an Amazon link just down here yonder on the good old YouTubes and Twitches, and that side if you're watching on the good old Facebooks. Go get you some. We got, what? Tools and materials, like I said. We've got camera gear for streaming if you're into that. And then books for inspiration for your next project. I get a little bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it goes to help out the stream in many, many ways possible. So, do it. Anyway, if you are interested in tool or model kits and accessories and paints and that right there, the Mecha Decals, right? Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the crew will definitely have what you need. They'll definitely hook you up. But the big news today, you guys. The big news today, that right there. Yes. Mecha Decals are now going to be available for wholesale purchase. So, what does that mean? What does that mean? That means, potentially, you could see Mecha Decals in your local hobby store. On the shelf. Ready for you to just pick up at a moment's notice. Yeah. Yes. We've already got some interested parties. And, well, damn it, if you have a local hobby store and you want to see Mecha Decals in that store, then you hightail it right up to the manager or the person behind the counter or just the local intern, whatever, and you tell them, hey, we need some Mecha Decals up in this beer. You tell them how to get on it. USAGundamStore.com. There's a little link for wholesaling down at the very bottom. They got to dig for it. They got to work for it. Because it's worth it. So, yeah, if you want to see Mecha Decals in your local hobby store, man, go and make the request. And if you're a store owner watching this stream, hit up USA Gundam Store. We'll hook you up. Yeah. So, hopefully you guys saw the new logo, and there's a new amazing packaging for it, and the whole 9 yards. It's ready to go. We are green lights, locked and loaded, ready to go. So, and that also means that decal sheet number 2 is coming soon. Yes, coming soon. What is going on here? Okay, Rushlam, have you tried asking Tim? He might have some in his massive stock of stuff. No guarantees, though. What stock of stuff, you guys? Like that? Okay, you got me. That is kind of a massive stock of stuff, right? But what are we talking about? Is it James? I did so. Oh, okay. So James, I didn't find them yet. Everywhere I look has it for a ridiculous price, even. James, what are you looking for? Tell me. What are you looking for? What do you want? I might have it in my massive stock of stuff, as Bill says. Yeah. Donnie and Chris and Zashawn, they're all over there on Facebook. What's going on, boys? Man, he says, "LOL, Tim flexing." No, not even, dude. No, I wouldn't. And a backstock is not something to really flex on either, in my opinion. It's kind of sad. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so he's trying to see if you have the builder parts 1/100 Xeon hands. Stay right there. Don't you guys move. Don't you move at all. Don't move a fucking muscle. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, all right. Hang on. We've got stuff. Ah, crap. Wait a minute. I'm losing the hook here. All right. There we go. All right. Let's see. Damn it, Jonathan. Stop moving. All right. So you need Xeon hands, so the roundy fingers, right? I've got these MSG ones here. These are the square ones. These are the ones that I use for, you know, the, what you call it? Most of my models. Anyway. More of those, more of those. Okay, so I have builder parts, but they're only the Gundam versions. Sorry, James. But I do have these. These are the Kotobukiya roundy fingers. Roundy ones. They might work for you, James. They might work for you. Hit me up privately, and we'll see if these work. All right, because these are a pretty good size, right? We'll break out camera 2 here in just a few seconds, and I'll show you the size comparisons with the normal Zaku hand, and that should give you a pretty decent size comparison, right? So we'll hook that up. We'll hook it up. So there you go. Anyway, so yeah, so it's Monday. Hell, it is Monday. It is definitely a Monday. I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling it today. It is a fucking Monday. Anyway, is it for a Dom? Oh, it is for for his Dom. Oh shit, yeah, these ain't gonna work for you, dude. These are small. These are like Zaku hands, dude. It would be for a yeah. You ain't nah. These are probably yeah. These are actually a little smaller than a Zaku hand, like a Zaku 2.0 hand. So unfortunately, these ain't gonna work for you, dude. Does it need to be fixed posed? Let me know, James. Let me know if it needs to be fixed posed. We're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. Anyway. All right. So, yeah, so wholesale. Hook it up, you guys. Come on. Go request them at your local hobby store. It would mean the world to me. Anyway. All right, so let's go camera 2. Let's get on it. Rusham says thanks for trying. No problem, man. No problem. Brandon is there over there on YouTube, and he says, I drove 45 minutes to my local hobby town and was so disappointed with the selection of models, tools, paint. Yeah. Some of them are hit and miss. Some of them are hit and miss. So. Yeah. Okay, so for everybody out there, our boy James, James 2.0, Spider 2K2 on YouTube, right? He is looking for fixed posed Xeon roundy fingers, scaled for the Dom. And if you've not ever seen or held a Dom model in your life, the hands are quite big, quite large. I might add, big feet too. So if that tells you anything. So yeah. So if you have any fixed posed Dom 1/100 scale hands, let James know. I'm sure he would be ecstatic about that. Yeah. Travis is over there on Facebook. What's going on, dude? And then, okay, now we're talking. Our boy Scuffle. But he's over there on Twitch. Scuffle, what are you doing on Twitch, buddy? You're supposed to be on over here on YouTube. But just the fact Scuffle's here brightens my day. Anyway. Alright. Let's get into it, right? Because, like, last time when we were together on Friday, we, like, talked. That was it. We just kind of talked. And just kind of shot the shit. And it was fun, right? It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Scuffle says, LOL, I'll switch over to YouTube in a bit. Was just supporting my friend on his stream. Okay. I got you. Case closed then, dude. That's admirable, Scuffles. Admirable. I like it. Good on you, buddy. Good on you. He says, make Lego hands. Maybe not. Heat Hawk Noob says, where did he start off with? He says, continuing. I think I missed it. Brandon, mine is like that too. LOL, we have a huge space for model kits, but the displays are fairly empty. What's up with hobby towns, you guys? Like, hobby towns are seriously like hit and miss from my experience, right? Like the one down in Richmond, Virginia. That place is amazing. Like, I was super impressed when we walked in there for their GBWC event. A month or so ago, right? Me and Justin, when we did the classes and everything with those guys down there. And man, that place was great. I mean, they had like crazy stock levels of pretty much everything, right? And then to top it off, they had the full line of SimPro models from Jun, our boy. They also had the DL decals. I don't know, the cheap Chinese ones, the unofficial official ones. But they had a full line of those. They had if I remember correctly, I think they had MadWorks stuff, which was kind of surprising. So man, hobby towns seem to be hit or miss, and that's disappointing. It's disappointing, and I think from like the stories that I've read, it kind of depends on the owners, right? Because they're kind of like franchises almost, and some of the owners are really good, but some are not. Hit and miss. Nah, kind of shitty, but what are you gonna do, right? Let's see. Donnie's over there on Facebook. He says Hobbytown Richmond stocked up due to Marsalis' efforts. Hey, whatever it takes, though, dude. Right? Whatever it takes, because that's where the segment. That's the Gunpla is the largest growing model segment in the entire hobby. It's stupid not to. You're leaving money on the table. But that's just me, right? What are you gonna do? Hey, LMess85 is over there on Twitch. He says, what are the main tools to start customizing? And you know what? This is a question, so I kind of missed this.
We have a question.
There we go. Yes. Main tools to start customizing. You're going to need tools, but you're also going to need materials. Don't forget the materials. The materials are very important, right? Good hobby knife. I recommend either this little guy, the little NT cutter, or Olfa. These are the main two. These are my bread and butter, right? And since you're over there on Twitch, you can find both of them in the link, the Amazon link below the screen here. Aside from that, obviously, you're probably going to have nippers. Nippers is a, no-brainer. Those are going to be obviously your foundation, right? But the other things that you're going to need to start kind of customizing and stuff is some of this. I highly recommend. This is Strip Styrene by Evergreen Scale Models. Great company. You can buy online if you can't find it around you, which is a breeze to buy online. Um, Everybody's saying the chopper, the chopper, the chopper. Yeah, but it seems Elmes is just kind of wanting to get into it, right? The chopper may be a step too far when you just first start getting into it. But for everyone's amusement, yes, the Chopper 2 by Northwest Shortline. This is an amazing tool. It is a bit on the pricey side, but it will absolutely change the way that you build, customize, and all that stuffs, right? So, definitely some plastic, either sheets or strips or what have you. You can do a lot, and we've done a lot. And, if you go back and you watch previous episodes, you'll see us working with it, and we can kind of get crazy with it, right? Also, too, a nice little variety of option parts, right? These are option parts. These are by Kotobukiya and Wave. Bandai even has a bunch of them now as well. So those can really kind of spice up the look of what you're going for and help you customize easier. And then you kind of mix and match these things and use them in tandem. And then you can kind of get some really, really crazy looks, right? Like we do. So yeah, I think those are probably going to be your foundational elements, right? Beyond that, if you wanted to invest some money, you can get some chisels, you can get a inexpensive digital caliper. Sky's the limit. The other thing I completely forgot about, boom, this guy right here. This is Bob Smith Industries little super glue. This is the Instacure. This is the 5 to 10 second, the purple type. I love this super glue. And then also for your solvent glue, I can't recommend enough. Get that out of the highlight. Plastic Magic by Deluxe Materials. This stuff is great. So, Elmes, hopefully that answers your question. But again, click the Amazon link. You'll see all the stuff that I kind of have recommended and everything. Pick and choose. Kind of get ideas maybe. If they have something at your local hobby store, by all means, I would probably say get local. But if not, there's that resource for you, right? So there you go. Hopefully that helps. Good question. Good introductory question. I like where his head's at. He's wanting to take a step in the right direction. That to me, yeah. I like it. I like that. Anyway, let's see here. Let's see. Spider2K2 James, he says, I go there every time I'm visiting my childhood friend and her son. I may be looking into moving down to that area in the next 7 years. Awesome. Very good. Let's see. Zero Kai, what's going on, man? Some hobby towns are going out of business, so finding Gunpla kits are rare. Yeah, and that's a shame too, because the whole hobby scene, it kind of has its, saturated areas, and then other places are kind of drying up. It's unfortunate. Like my local hobby store closed about a year or two ago, and there's not really a great one around me within reasonable driving distance, right? When Justin and I do classes, we go down to the Hobby Works in Laurel, but that's about an hour away from me, so it's not necessarily really convenient for a quick kind of shopping trip, if you will. Not like the one that we had before, which was basically 10 minutes from my house. I can, jet into town, get what I need, get the hell out, thief in the night, and I'm gone, right? Ghost. So, it's one of those unfortunate things, and that's just the way that the hobby industry is going right now. Some are thriving, some are struggling. It sucks, but it is what it is. Space Rat says, I guess part of it is whether or not there's a sizable model kit hobby community, not just Gunpla and the owners. It's a fair point. That's a very fair point as well, right? George says they're independent owners and operators. Okay. I thought they were more like franchises, but I don't know. I knew that they kind of, each one kind of did their own thing, and then some are kind of clustered together, and things like that. So, yeah. Brandon says, yeah, New Type, it was in Southfield. I was so disappointed, saw they were doing a build day, so I figured I would go check them out. Ah, yeah. Ruslan says, depends on if they support the local build group. Yeah, the Plano and Louisville and Austin give discounts if you belong to Texas Gunpla Builders on Facebook. Hey, I belong to Texas Gunpla Builders on Facebook. I wonder if they'll give me a discount. Just a thought. Space Rat says, yes, got some evergreen strips recently. Good on you, man. Good. Let's see. Ricky Paul Carlson says, Gundam peer pressure. Y'all are bad. Right? For real, man. It's just like, don't put some flashy new tool in front of them. They'd be like, hey, man, you want to see this tool? Shit, maybe I'm like that. Damn it. That sucks. Bad realization. What are you going to do? Ruslam says, don't forget sandpaper. Yeah, I guess that's a kind of a given, though. It didn't come up in the train of thought when thinking of customizing, per se. But it's a good point, yeah. LMS85 over there on Twitch, he says, thanks, bro. Dude, anytime, man. Thank you for watching as well. Tenko Wolf, he's over there on YouTube. He says, you gave me some tips in Richmond. I forgot what they were. Can you please remind me? Oh, dude. Okay, so with the... I forget what the model was. Yes, so do a panel line wash, right? That's important. Panel line wash to bring out those details and make everything pop. And if I remember correctly, I know you were hand painting. Use a little bit of masking tape. Keep those edges nice and clean, even when hand painting. And that paint job is going to come out way, 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 way better. So hopefully those were the two big ones that I at least remember. But yeah, good stuff, man. Thank you for watching too as well. Brandon says, I will say the resin kit guns and weapons that Tim talked about a few streams ago were on the shelf at Hobbytown. Nice. So Jun Sim Pro models, they're getting good distribution in Hobbytown. That's a good sign. That's a good thing. All right. Scuffle. Unfortunately, in the U.S., hobby stores are a dying breed. I blame the millennials and K-pop. Holy shit. This is why I love to have Scuffle on, you guys. I swear he cracks me up, dude. Yeah. Dude makes my night with his one-liners, I swear. Heat Hulk Noob. What's kind of awkward is that Gunpla is really big where I'm at. Loads of hobby and anime stores carry Gunpla. Even comic shops carry them. The Hobbytown here, for some reason, doesn't order as much stock. And that's kind of one of those things, right? Where you have kind of that old guard mentality of, hobby shops, being straight old school with armor and cars and planes and, whatever else. They don't necessarily see that, hey, you know what? Gunpla, as a scale modeling form of art, is a burgeoning kind of segment of the industry. And they don't necessarily think it's going to stay around. A lot of people think it's a fad, which I'm going to tell you, after 20 years, it is not a fad here in the States, thankfully. But, there's that kind of old school, old guard mentality that some, not all, just some places still have, right? A lot of places have absolutely welcomed us in with open arms. IPMS, especially in a lot of locations, have kind of done that. If you look at what George had posted this past weekend at PatCon, man, they had a really, really good turnout, it looks like. And then what was it, a couple weekends ago down in Springfield, if I'm not mistaken. A Sazabi Master Grade took Best of Show at an IPMS event. And from what a lot of people are saying, that's a first in the nation. That's a big thing. It's a big thing, right? And it's encouraging to see. It's encouraging to see. So I think a lot of that old guard is starting to warm up to the thought of us kind of being in the ranks, so to speak, which is good, which is really good, because I think we can learn stuff from them, but in the same vein, they can learn stuff from us, right? Speaking with some of the older, modelers and stuff, they're absolutely amazed with the customizations and scratch building and, stuff that we do. But then likewise, we're amazed by their ability to accurately portray weathering and getting that sense of scale and dioramas and things like that. So there's a ton of stuff that we can learn from each other. And I think kind of the integration just needs to happen at a much faster rate. But, can't necessarily speed up an iceberg, can you? Anyway, Scuffle is over there. We read Scuffle's Space Galaxy Gaming Lounge just opened up in Las Cruces, New Mexico, for those of you that don't know. He says, I know Mario who runs it, and he may take some of my completed kits as display pieces. May sell some backlog on consignment. Thinking on that a bit. Nice, dude. That's awesome. If you can get your models displayed, man, that's like one of the ultimate compliments, right? Like, it feels good to have your stuff out there to be looked at and admired, right? Because you never know where people coming in and looking at your models, you never know where their skill level is going to be. And if it just so happens that their skill level is below yours, or they're just beginning or whatever, they look at your model, whatever's on display there, as kind of that bar, right? And that's a cool thought. I'm not gonna lie. That's a cool thing to think about. So yeah, if you can get your models displayed in a case somewhere, man, do it. Let people see. It's fun. Anyway. Ruslam says, Zach Heflin got any of the Z100 builders parts hands for a decent price. We're still trying to find those 1/100 scale Dom hands for our boy Jimmy, man. Julius Dembski, Sarge is over there on YouTube. He says there is a hobby store in my town that has been around for 50 years. They are closing their doors in October. Damn, so sad. It's been owned by the same family all that time. See, that's the thing that's the part that really just kills me. Family owned and operated business, and in business for 50 years. And now no more. Now, mind you, I don't know the reasons why they're closing. It could just be they're done. It could be as simple as that. But with the rate that hobby stores are closing in the States, chances are probably pretty good that it's not that reason, right? So, but we can speculate all we want, right? But that sucks, Sarge. I mean, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. Let's see. Where do we leave off? Zach Heflin says, I have a spare set. You can have them. What? Look at this. Zach is hooking it up for the Mecha Army. Zach, you get one of these, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Nice. GizmoCon Gunpla. Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan. He says, it's only bad if it's BMC chisels for you, Tim. Come on, man. Cheesy Gunpla is over there on YouTube. He says, good AM, peeps. I just checked a local seller here in the Philippines. Plastic Magic is around 17 USD. That's not great, but it's not terrible either, because obviously it needs to get imported because it's by Deluxe Materials, who I believe is a is a English company. So to get it shipped over there and to go through customs and all of the regulations and stuff, 17 is not a bad price, I think. Worth it, in my opinion. I'd still pay 17 a bottle for it. Just saying. So, but anyway. Tanko Wolf says, thank you very much. Dude, you are very welcome. Thank you again for watching. Appreciate that. Brandon says, I have one hobby store by me that is good for some kits and basic modeling tools, and Evergreen. The rest have like 3 to 6 kits on the shelf that have been there for years. Damn. That's disappointing, right? But, and this is the thing, I think, for hobby stores in general. Even though, think about this, even though they may not sell Gunpla, and if they do, they may not necessarily sell it at a decent price, right? Because a lot of these places, they either have to go through Bluefin or Plow Mode from Canada, or some other kind of independent distributor, maybe from Japan or something like that, or China or something, right? So there's an inherent kind of middleman cost there that they have to mark up to be able to achieve their own kind of profit margin. And some are respectable, some are crazy. But if you are in that kind of boat where it's either not available or it's like crazy town prices, there's always online options, right? Now, even though it's a hobby store, you can still go in and buy supplies and tools, materials, and things like that, and still, patronize the store and try to keep them in business, obviously. Yeah. And then keep requesting Gunpla if they can. If they don't have it, right? Keep requesting it. We'll see, right? So, Zach says, I need a Fetty set for Double Zeta trade. If you don't have any, that's cool. I'll still give you pay. But see, Zach Heflin. You're a good dude, Zach. You're a good dude, man. So he needs a Fetty set for Double Zeta. Okay, so Zach, this is the thing. All right, since you're going to be gracious enough to offer up that for our boy James, I do have. Are these the same? I don't know. 29. Yeah, these are the same ones. Okay, so I've got these. These are the Kotobukiya 1/100 scale. These are the square hands. I use these on a lot of models and stuff like that. So if you need something like this, it might fit the Double Zeta. Let me know. Hit me up kind of behind the scenes. All right? We'll figure it out. But then I also have these. So, offers on the table, buddy. Offers on the table. Good on you. Anywho, moving on. Gary's over there on YouTube. Man, Gary did a great thing for Simon this past weekend. If you didn't see it on his story, he rode 50 miles on his bike to raise some money for our boy Simon, right? And unfortunately, I don't have any other updates at this point on Simon. But in my estimation, as it stands right now, no news is good news, right? Continuing to progress, continuing to recover, right? That's what we want. Yeah, man, Gary got like sponsors and everything. How fucking cool is that? So shout out to Gary, man. Shout out to Gary. Good dude, man. So many good people with us this evening. I like that. And I know we're talking and stuff like that, but damn it, this is fun. This is fun. Let's talk a little bit. We haven't talked. I feel as we're growing apart, we need to talk. Anyway, Zach says, dude, my hobby town has 2 or 3 aisles full from top to bottom. See? Lucky boy right there. Lucky boy. George over there on YouTube, he says the more business they see, the more guns they being in. I think there was a autocorrect snafu there. Anyway, that's why our build group. Where'd it go? That's why our build group has clout. We bring in business. There you go, right? Tango Wolf over there, he says, I get a lot of my Gunpla from USA Gundam Store. Good call. Gunpla, sheesh. There you go. I knew it was an autocorrect thing, right? Like and subscribe. What's going on, dude? He says, hello. What's going on, man? Julius wants to know, hey, where's Bailey? Where's Bailey been? He is still working on his college thesis, or whatever that is. Doctorate. I don't know. But he's working on school, and he's kicking ass and taking names. So, yeah, let him do his thing. He's still making the podcasts, which just got the new episode of the cutting mat, got released today. I haven't listened to it. Go check it out. But he's on there. He's doing that thing. But I'm sure he'll be back at some point. Yeah. Let's see. Space Rap, where'd it go? I think I remember the IPMS in El Paso had a few Gundam kits pictured on their website in one of their previous meetings. Nice. Tenko says, I have been building Gundam model kits since 2001. My first model kit was the GM ground type. That's a good one to start with, I think. Zach says, no, I have them myself. Was just commenting on someone saying their hobby town didn't stock much Gunpla. There you go. Julius says, oh, good for him. I have had training/school for the past 8 months, leaving tomorrow for the last session. Good job, man. Then hopefully back to Gunpla. I haven't been able to build anything for the last 8 months. Man. Gotta get back in it, Sarge. Let's see. So Sean over there on Facebook, he says, that's how I sold my Providence kit bash. Some customer came to look at it weekly and then finally saw and bought it from me. There you go, right? Zerokai, yeah, my Hazel project is going to be displayed in my local anime store. Dude, that's awesome. Congratulations, man. And Zerokai, he's starting to do some stuff. Interesting stuff. Go follow him on Instagrams. Like, he's cutting up legs and adding height and everything. It's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. Yeah. Let's see. Brandon says, I have a lead on an anime Asian import store by me that supposedly carries all sorts of tools and Gundam stuff, but they have funky hours like 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Oh, doesn't that suck? Yeah, I hate that. Zach Eflin says, question, Tim, what is your thoughts on the oil refinery attack? I think that it was probably perpetrated by the Xeon, and I'm guessing it was 2 DOMs and potentially, I don't know, maybe a goof. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but that's all I'm going to give you, Zach. Sorry, buddy. He says, that shit's going to cause gas prices to skyrocket, therefore hurting us when it comes to shipping rates. Yeah, potentially. I mean, shipping rates are shitty already as it is, right? So, it's kind of a wait-and-see process. It's kind of a wait-and-see process, right? Joy says, did you see that anonymous person donated $5,000 to Simon? Yes, we did. That was actually a business. So, yeah, good on him. Good on him. Excuse me. George says, Church Monday. No, man. No. This is not... George, I'm talking to you, buddy. This is not church. This is not church. Tuesday is church. Don't get it twisted. If anything, this is heathen. We are heathens here. Barbarians, even. Cro-Magnons. You have very low foreheads. You are the cultured one. You are the gentleman. Don't get me mixed up in your highfalutin church Tuesdays. So Sean says Gary is the man. I agree. Let's see. Chris Pabs is over there on the good old Facebook. He says, Simp, June asked me to bring the real great Sazabi to SCGMC, and I think it's going to another convention soon, so keep an eye out for it. Just off topic. Yes. See? That's what I'm talking about right there. Manny. Mech Dio says, LOL, Heathen Mondays, Redemption Tuesdays. I kind of like the sound of that. George, I think we should make that a thing. Heathen Mondays, Redemption Tuesdays. Oh, yeah, that's so good, right? And then Armida says, this is 100% Man Cave Monday. Really? Come on. Crinkle my nose or something here. Anyway, Brandon says, that's awesome, the GoFundMe. Where it's now. Yeah, no. And we're definitely taking care of Simon, you guys. We absolutely are taking care of him. He's going to be I think he's going to be in good shape. There's still more donations that are coming, businesses and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's going to get higher. Let's put it that way. It's going to get higher. So everybody's, incredible. Yeah, man. Like and subscribe says, gotta have that surprise to Gok, right? I mean, it's in the desert, so I don't know. Unless they modified it or something. But I still like the 2 Doms and the goof. Pew pew. George says, excellent response, Tim. Avoid politics here. Exactly. 2 golden rules, you guys. One is no politics. The other one is no religion. Unless you're heathen. And then that's okay, because you'll get redeemed on Tuesday on George's stream. Woo! Oh, yes. We are heathens. Absolutely. I'm a heathen. I don't care what anybody thinks. Let's see. Nice. Yeah, right? Okay, so Armina says 100% Man Cave Monday, but then Bill says not with you here. I mean, that's kind of fair. And mind you, we don't want to get rid of her. But there needs to be logic. I think that's fair, right? I think that's fair. Anyway, Spider2K2, is it odd that as soon as you said that, Manny, I was listening to that in the background as I listened to Tim? Yeah, I mean, hey, why not? It's just how we get down, right? Brandon says, so busy with work and kids and classes starting back up, had no idea that there was any sort of attack. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Yeah. Crinkles and all. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man. Let's see. Roosh. Very good question. Brandon, has the gifts arrived yet? I will answer that for him. No, because I have been shitting the bed on ordering Brandon stuff that I owe him, and it is absolutely right now in process and waiting to get sent to me. And then once I get it, Brandon will get it. But yeah, no, that's completely. I'm going to take the blame here, you guys. I've been shitting the bed on that and dragging my feet. That's my fault, and I apologize for that. But, yes, all the stuff is still right over here, just over yonder. You guys can't see it, but I can see it, and it's over there. So we got a lot of cool stuff for you, Brandon, for the kids and, yeah, everything. So, yeah. Incoming. Let's put it that way. Incoming. But, yeah, I shit the bed on it. So that's on me. That's on me. Sorry about that. Let's see. Brandon says, not yet, but I didn't check the mail today. Dude, Brandon, when I get them sent to you, trust me, I will send you tracking number, all that good stuff. So don't worry about it. Let's see. Julia says, Tim, when you design your next set of decals, could you design something to show the ace kill markings for both the Federation and Xeon alliances? So here's the breakdown of that. We can't do official markings, right? So they wouldn't be like Fetty logo, Xeon logo thing, right? But it could be an outline of some generic robot as kill markings, right? That we can definitely do, and that we kind of have in the works, so to speak. Sheet 2 is done and in the can. It's just waiting to go off to the printers at this point. Sheet 3 is kind of in development, and honestly, that would probably have to wait till Sheet 4. So, yeah. We can't do official, which sucks, right? We could, but potentially we'd get in trouble, and we don't really want to do that, right? We want to play by the rules. It's important to play by the rules, especially here in the States. The guys that are printing, the cheap decals in China, they can get away with it because the laxed, trademark rules and stuff like that. And Bandai doesn't really have the inkling of going after those types of, businesses and stuff. Obviously, Deban and, the bootleggers, yeah, they'll go after them all day long. But, little companies that, do decals and simple stuff like that, they're like, whatever, man. We don't got the time for this. Ain't nobody got time for that. But, yeah, I don't want to get sued. Because that would be bad. Yeah. That's the reason. But anyway, it'll still be kick-ass. It'll still be cool. It'll still be Mecha Decal, the finest ultra premium water slide decals on the market for mecha and sci-fi models. Ka-ching! Anyway, Tex, we got to get Sabs to say that. I think he would do good. Anyway, let's see. Brandon says, even though I am camera shy and hate my voice, I plan on making a video when the package gets here. What? Nice. That'll be cool. He also says, you have way more important things going on, Tim. Dude, don't do that. Don't do that. I fucked up and I know it. It's on me. Let me shoulder that burden. Vincent Lewis, he's over there on YouTube. What's going on, Vince? He says, hey, Tim, question.
We have a question.
Why is the rule to not use 90-degree angles when adding panel lines / plow plate? Okay, so it's not exactly a quote-unquote rule. You have the what's called the 3-line rule, right? That was developed by the writer of Scratch Build Revolution. I can't remember the guy's name, and it always escapes me for some strange reason. But he kind of developed what's called the 3-line rule, which is based on aesthetics, right? And what he kind of came up with is that 3 obtuse angles, meaning over 90 degrees, is always more pleasant to look at than angles that are sub 90 degrees or are acute angles. 90-degree right angles, in my opinion, don't look bad at all. In fact, I use them all the time on my models and scribing and stuff like that, and even when I go to plate and stuff. Now, mind you, I think there needs to be some balance. There needs to be, some variety. Because you can't just all have 90-degree corners everywhere, and then that'll just get boring and weird, right? Have some cuts, have some bevels in the corners, stuff like that. Switch it up, give it a little bit of variety. But I think if you sprinkle 90-degree angles here and there, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, in my opinion, because, shit, I do it myself, and I think it looks good. So, yeah. Rules are most of the time made to be broken when it comes to art, right? And I have to qualify that when it comes to art. Don't go out there and rob some place and say Tim said it was okay because it was a rule and it was meant to be broken. That's not what I mean, guys. I mean in building Gunpla, right? Come on now. So yeah, just switch it up. Variety. That variety is the spice of life, as they say. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question, Vince. Yeah. Let's see. Superset5's over there on Twitch. He says, I'm late. What'd I miss? Not much. We're wholesaling Mecha Decals now at your favorite local hobby store. If you want to see those in your local hobby store, highly recommend you go in there and request them to contact USA Gundam Store for wholesale opportunities. Sorry, I gotta get the spiel out, you guys. I know it makes me sound like a salesman, but hey, they're my decals. They're my babies, right? Come on now. Anyway. Zero Kai says, hey Tim, was that box mag for the airdrop just a scratch built, or was that apart from the Just a Cannon? No, that was scratch built. Yeah, I got pictures of it on Facebook and on my website, so you can kind of see all that. Yeah, but no, that was definitely scratch built. It was built up around one of the existing mags, so you still had that same connection point. But yeah, it was built up and all that. So yeah. Tex Armida says, no, we don't. I think we do. Sabs needs to cut a promo for me. I think he'd be great at it. Just saying. Bill says, I have been donating stuff left and right and also preparing for a contest I'm announcing next month. Dude, and you know what? Bill is just like that, man. Like, salt of the earth. Like, straight up. Like, if you don't follow this man on Instagram, I highly suggest that you do. 'Cause, like, he donates to everything. He hooks it up with everything. Just a cool-ass dude, man. I'm not gonna lie. Go follow him. Hook him up. Let's see. Jashawn F over here on YouTube. Welcome. He says, good evening, Tim. How does beveling a panel line affect its look? I'm converting some seams into panel lines and was wondering what beveling does. Very good question there, Jashawn. And you know what? In here, you get one of these, buddy.
We have a question.
Reset those buttons. So basically what he's talking about is when two armor pieces are slapped together, kind of like on a leg or something like that, and you've got that panel line in the middle. But he wants to convert that seam into an existing panel line, which is a very, very common type of practice in our hobby, right? And an easy way to do that is to bevel it, right? So just kind of scrape that right angle of that seam down and just, bevel it. Very effective, actually. Very, very effective technique to kind of, make that disappear. Yeah? I recommend it. Another thing that you can do is take a chisel, if you have it, and really kind of squeeze those pieces together, and then use one piece as a guide to scribe into the other piece, and then you have a nice even panel line with the rest of it. But if you don't, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, by all means, just bevel the edge of one of them, you're good to go. Yeah. I've done that plenty of times, so I think it looks good. So, yeah. There you go. Zero Kai, thanks, Spider. I thought I was going to buy a P Bandai. Ooh, look at that. Bunpla. It's a good name. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome to the Mecha Army. Welcome to the family. Boom. Oh. You get one of those. Sweet. Excellent. Anyway, let's see here. Zero Kai says, thanks. I was going to buy a P-Bandai Master Grade just a can enjoy. Just for the box mag? No, dude. Just scratch build your one. You can do it. I know you can. You're hooking it up. Come on. And it's an easy task because it's just a few angles and stuff like that. Pretty simple all in all. Yeah. Like and subscribe. It was over there on YouTube. Reminds me of the rule of thirds in photography. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like that, right? It's kind of like that. Edward Leonard says, witchcraft rule, right? Vincent Lewis says, doing good, bro. Okay, thanks, Tim. Dude, you're very welcome, man. George says, Gunpla thuggery. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Brandon says, just got done feeding my youngest, Ella Ray. She was fussy until I turned up my volume and she heard your voice, Tim. Oh, look at that. She's been hearing it since she was in the womb. Wow. See? Come on, man. That makes me feel good. That's cool. I'm not going to lie. That's a cool feeling. That's a cool feeling. Well, she's going to enjoy what's coming her way as well. She can rock it out, and really the whole family can rock it out. So I think you'll be happy with it. So George says, that's so cool, Brandon. It really is fucking cool. I'm not going to lie. That is really fucking cool. Bill is the statesman of Gunpla, George says. I think that's a fair characteristic. Yeah. Yeah. Ricky Paul Carson, I like talking and all, but are we going to build tonight? Yeah, I know, right? We need to. I think we need to. And I'm getting caught up with the chat here, so yes, we are going to be doing that here momentarily, right? Bunplow, he's over there on Twitch, and he just followed. He says, thank you. LOL, I found you on Instagram and saw you were live, so wanted to follow you here too. Awesome. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Space Rider 53, Bandai is making some Fate Grand Order character kits. I believe they just released one of Shielder Mash. Yeah, I don't know what any of that means. Sorry. Anyway. All right, so let's take a cue from Ricky Paul Carlson. Let's get to building. Let's go camera 2. Here we go. Let's rock and roll. All right, so if you remember last time, the little bit of work that we did these two guys right here. We popped those vents in, and those are looking really quite nice, if I do say so myself. Quite symmetrical and mirror-tastic, right? So we'll put these off to the side. Now, one of the things that I was working on, and you can kind of see it here with these little cutoffs and things, is that when the high mobility armor is on this bad boy like this, and the leg, or the foot I should say, is popped into place like that, and when it flexes back to the toe point, there is a distinct limitation right here that I filed in to be able to get this angle of foot flexion, right? So what I'm doing is I'm taking the armor, that the little cuff here, right? Basically this part, but on the back. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be filling that in solid. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. Super glued this down to a 1mm sheet, cut off a 1mm strip off of the bottom of both to compensate. And so now we're just basically backfilling that and trimming the pieces flush and all that good stuff. So that's kind of what I started on here just a little bit before the stream. So we're going to continue doing that, and we're going to work toward that goal, right? Now, if we are able to get through all that, I was thinking maybe we could build kind of a greebly for the side of this guy right here. Something to go right in here. I need to fix that mark right there. It's a little weird, but that'll come later. I'm not really concerned, but something to fit right in here on both sides, just something that will be symmetrical on both sides, but still look look nice. But first things first, let's get these two pieces trimmed, and then we'll move on to that. Fair? Fair. Let's go. All right. So, eyes on. That's important. Get them locked in. Where'd that piece go? Anyway, we'll figure that out later, right? Oh, well. All right. NT cutter. Get all this stuff moved out of the way. And that's not the piece I was working on. This is the piece that I was working on. All right, so now to trim this back, obviously I have taken off most of the plastic here with nippers and stuff like that, and now we're just going back with the little NT cutter, and we are trimming this up nice and flush with the piece. Now, this piece looks pretty good, or at least this side, I should say, looks pretty good. We're going to cut these bevels. We're not going to get terribly accurate with these corner bevels right now because I want to get the larger surface areas trimmed out first, and then we'll move on from there, obviously. Okay. And now, one thing that, and I forgot to mention this, a new addition to the studio is I've got, obviously you guys can't see it, but I've got like a little field monitor right in front of me that is connected to the camera, the overhead camera. So everything that you see here, I can see on a monitor right in front of me. So I don't any longer have to be like, oh, does it look good? You know? Super easy right here. Super easy to do. So yeah, it makes things so much easier. Anyway, let's get back to trimming this up, shall we? All right. So, if you've not done anything like this ever before, this is actually pretty simple. Because what you're essentially doing is you are letting the knife ride the surface of the orange part, which is the original, right? You're using that essentially as a guide, and then you're trimming this plastic sheet back to nothing, essentially. Back to square with that piece. And that's the goal of it, because once we're done with this, we don't want there to be a seam line. We don't want anybody to know that this thing was tacked on to another piece of plastic. Nothing. We want this to look as natural as possible when it comes to paint. And to do that, well, you gotta have good knife work at this particular stage. So by doing something like this and being able to trim this appropriately, you're going to achieve that. And we'll go back and sand these and file them down and really finish off the look of these things, right? Like this bevel here, we've got to tidy that up. We've got to tidy up the other one too. But this is looking pretty good thus far, right? All right. So that's all trimmed out, looking pretty nice. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our little file here, our little jeweler's file, and we're just going to right along the seam and kind of twist that back and forth to get it nice and flush. And then, like we always do, fingernail test. Ooh, silky smooth. Silky smooth. That's what we're talking about. Nice. And then we do the same thing to all the other sides. We'll do the bevels last. See, that's where we need it to be. That's what we're talking about. Perfect. And last side here, or last of the big sides. Just like that. We'll just file this down. Nice and flat. Looking good. Yeah. Silky smooth. Just how we like it. Alright. So now we're going to do the bevels, and we need to be able to watch the angle of this particular bevel. So be very careful and don't go overboard with your filing on this bevel, because a little bit goes a long way, right? Hey, there's Adam. Mr. USA Gundam Store. What's going on, dude? Everybody say hi to Adam. Okay. And now that bevel looks good there too. So, we have essentially a finished look on the outside, but there's still more to do on this. We're not quite done yet, right? Let's go back and clean out the panel lines around this bad boy. Okay, so that's all nice and clean. The outside is looking good. Now, the problem that we're going to run into is this inside here, because this is not flat by any means. And you can see that here with the contrast on the mat, right? So we need to flatten this out, but what we also have to do is match the angle of the original piece here too. So we've got to do kind of both things at the same time. So what we're going to do... Bastard file. I so need a button thingy for this. Yeah, I do. But I don't have it yet. That's low on the priority list right now. Alright, so we're just basically right now trying to flatten this thing out and get the proper angle of this as well, right? It's a bad idea. Don't do that. James, Spider2K2, he's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, do you list your chisels on your Amazon link? May pick some up next month. No, because Amazon doesn't have them. But Adam does. Adam, you got the hook up on the BMCs, right? Right? Yeah. He's got the hook up on the BMC chisels. Check out Adam. He will hook you up. Anyway. Switching to the sanding block, because I feel this may be a bit more aggressive, since this is like 400 grit, as opposed to the big old dirty bastard file. Or at least for right now, just to flatten that sucker out. Now, let's do a little little sizing up here, shall we? Ah, yeah, see, and look, and you can kind of see how that's going to go, right? That's going to, once we get this inside trimmed, that little gap there is going to go away, and this thing is going to fit like a glove. And then that's going to be nice and solid under there, so that when the foot, and actually let's get it on the other one so you can kind of see a little bit better. So when then the foot flexes up, it runs into a solid piece like that, right? So there's not going to be any thruster back there like a normal, but because if there was a thruster back there, it would rain down on and melt your mech's heel, and that probably wouldn't be great. So fill it in, let the back thrusters and all that take care of back propulsion, all that. So yeah. Let's see. Have some in and getting more in about a week. BMCs. Booyah. Done. See? One-stop shop, you guys. There we are. Now we're getting closer to this being finished. So let's switch out the bastard file. Let's get the sanding block in here, and then this is kind of when this whole thing starts to take shape. This all starts to get nice and even, and let's try to mock this up here. Okay, so one thing that we're running into with this side, which I already cut off there, there's a couple tabs here and here that we actually need to trim off. So those actually keep, I think they're just basically there to keep things aligned, but in reality they're worthless and serve no purpose. So trim them off. Get rid of them. Get them out of here, right? Now, pop this guy on here. And there we go. Now you can kind of see that look that we're going for. And now mind you, this is going to be covered up for the most part with the outer high mobility armor, right? So you're practically never going to see that, you know, that fill-in area. But just in case, we do it anyway. Attention to detail, you guys. That's the name of the game. Attention to detail, right? So, nice. Donnie. I have to read Donnie's questions before I say it, because sometimes he messes with us. Boom, okay.
We have a question.
Donnie has a question. He says, what is your method to mark two matching insides of something in need of drilling? I.e., how to mark identical spots on the inside of a sandwich. So, Donnie, I think what you're talking about is something like we showed last time. And correct me if I'm wrong, dude. So, like, having two pieces like here, right? So, basically, you know, these are book matched, essentially, is what they call it in the woodworking world. Which basically means that they look like, essentially like 2 pages of a book that's been opened, right? So I think, Donnie, what you're saying, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, how do we match up? How do we get placement of, you know, 2 drilled points identically? Is that what we're getting at? I hope so. Because these were actually super easy. Super easy. I mean, you guys know it. You guys love it. Boom. Jig, right? So what I did, we used this jig for scribing the outline of this particular piece, right? So why not set a drill bit in there and drill out a hole, and that way you can locate it there. You can go on the other piece, flip it around, locate it on the same at the same exact place. Bada boom, bada bing. You have now book matched little circular details. You know, you can do the same thing with like rivet holes and stuff like that if you wanted to. Another way is to just measure up and down, you know, like a grid, you know, from different points on whatever piece that you're trying to drill into. So, you know, those are methodologies. But if that doesn't answer your question, Donnie, bring it back. Let me know what I missed. So, hopefully that's what it was. Edward Leonard says that wood box behind you looks like a toolmaker's machinist's height gauge storage box. Is it? Oh, no, this, I wish it was, because that would be cool. No, dude, Edward, this is very unexciting stuff. This is just actually, miniature drill bits, and that's all that it is. And these are inexpensive little drill bits, and you get 5 of each in each little tube, right? So, but yeah, I kind of wish it was a height gauge, because that would be freaking badass. But no, these are just little drill bits. That's all. Just boring stuff. Brandon, question.
We have a question.
Is it possible to make a mirror image of a part from a kit through molds? I have just a shield that I would like to make a mirror image of for use on the other side. No. Unfortunately, no. It is not possible through molds to produce a mirror image, because you would have to produce a mirror image master part and then mold that. I wish it was that easy, because then, oh my god, my life would be like kittens and rainbows with molding and stuff, right? But no, you actually have to come up with a method of scratch building that other part and making a mold out of that. Sorry. That would be amazing. Yeah. Donnie's back over there on Facebook. He says, kinda. Imagine if you were connecting those pieces by a pin only on the inside and needed to mark the same spot. But a template may work. I have been measuring but looking for an easier way. Alright. I can't visualize what you're trying to get across, Donnie, and I'm sorry, that's on me. But yeah, measuring from a certain point and then over us from another certain point really works well for me. So case in point, let's see. So say something like this, right? Just as pure example, Donnie, listen. So say if I wanted to have like a little detail, kind of just like an asymmetrical round detail, like right here in this corner, right? But what do, right? So what I would do is pick a corner, like this little corner right here on the bevel, and I would measure up. And then I would pick this panel line, and then I would measure over. And that would be my locating point, right? But then you bring the other piece in here, you find the exact mirror of that particular corner, you measure up and you measure over from that same point, and then you get that exact same placement, but a mirror image of each other. Hopefully that helps. I don't know. But if worse comes to worse, dude, message me and like shoot me a picture of what you're talking about, and I'll help you out. Simple as that, right? You know how to get a hold of me, Donnie. Come on, man. Edward Leonard says, the tool is used to measure and scribe on a granite surface plate using an indicator to measure, and a carbide scriber to add layout lines accurately to .05 to point. Yeah, oh, trust me, I know, man. It's that those height gauges are awesome because it's what a lot of ship builders, ship modelers use to scribe in, especially like people that are building like wooden ships, to scribe in those lines for the cladding and stuff like that. Yeah, expensive, right? And situational, honestly, but still would be damn cool to have. I'm not gonna lie. Edward says big box for that. Yeah, it kind of obnoxiously so, but I don't mind it. Brandon says didn't think so, just was hopeful. Yeah, dude, that would be the holy grail of molding. That would definitely be the thing, right? Excuse me. Travis is over there on Facebook. He says, Donnie, do you mean like if you wanted to make your own peg and hole connection inside of two pieces? Huh. Okay. It would probably still be that type of the measure up and measure over type of thing. But if that's it, Donnie, if that's what you're talking about, creating, your own peg and hole connection, then we can have a different conversation and I can show you something different. Let me know if that's what you're talking about. Manny says, Tim, it was similar to when you pinned the chest armor to the Zaku. Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. Okay, so let me real quick show you guys that, right? So here's the Zaku, the chest and everything. This is a transplanted Goof custom chest armor, right? This is not the stock armor, obviously, that came with this. This is the stock armor, so you can see the abundant differences there, right? Very droopy, where this has some, angles and some heft to it, right? And the Goof is chest armor is a little bit more angular, which I like. It's kind of a contrast to the roundy bits on the Zaku. But so how did we transplant this on to the Zaku and make this as sturdy and robust as it is? Well, that's a great question. I'm glad everyone asked, right? So we've got 2 pegs that I drilled in, and this sheet of styrene right here is actually covering the holes for that, right? So what I did was I took putty, what is it? The yellow tack, blue tack, the poster tack stuff. This stuff, this kind of, silly putty-ish, stuff that you kind of get to tack up little, the corners of posters, right? I used that and put this on the inside just as a temporary holder to this piece, and then I aligned it to where I needed it to be. And once I got both pieces properly aligned, then I held each piece in place, drilled through the armor, and then drilled into the inner frame, right? So you need to go through 2 layers of plastic, yeah? From there, you get your inner frame holes, and then you got your holes on here. So pop in 2 plastic pins, and then what I did was reinforced the insides here with super glue and baby powder, right? So that makes these pins very, very strong now. Very strong. And then what I also did, there was a little, and this is unique to this particular armor piece, there's a little gap right here that's exactly 1 millimeter wide. So what I was able to do was put a 1 millimeter strip on to the back of the Zaku here, and what that does is it properly aligns everything at 3 points. So this thing is not moving, it is solid, and it's not going anywhere, right? So that's kind of how I did that. So a little bit of blue tack, drill through into the armor piece, into the inner frame to have your properly located holes for both your pins and your receiver, and yeah, you're basically good to go. I highly recommend at least 3 pins in a piece like that. You can get away with 2. 1 is just completely unacceptable, and it's just going to spin around that thing. 2 you can legitimately get away with. 3 is going to be better because that thing is going to be rock solid at that point. But I can't stress enough is the reinforcement of these pins here. Like I said, that's a whole lot of super glue and a whole lot of baby powder in there to reinforce that, and then sprayed down and flashed to cure quickly with our good old Insta-Set here as well. So that's kind of how I grafted these parts onto the Zaku chest. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question. Yeah, we'll see. I know, Donnie, I got to read your comments here. I got to get caught up and everything. So let me get caught up here. Gary says, which masking tape you guys use for curves? I still use yellow masking tape, and it's a pain in the arse. Nice. Yeah, dude, cut it down to thinner strips, and then you'll be able to manipulate it a little bit more. But to me, it does make a masking tape, which is kind of like a vinyl masking tape that they use for pinstriping cars and stuff like that. They make that, and from what I've heard, it's actually pretty damn good. So yeah, there you go. Brandon says, I thought about trying a thin rubber mold and flipping it inside out and then making a mold off of that to get mirror. You're going to have a hard time of that. I'm not going to lie. Because reversing a mold like that is not going to be easy, and it's not going to get you the right shape either, unfortunately. So I really wouldn't waste your money. It's just not going to work. Sorry, man. Manny says, I think that was what Donnie was talking about. And Donnie says, yes, I remember you doing this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So there you go, Manny. You were right. Donnie says, right, how did you mark those pegs land? Okay, so how did we locate the pegs, right? You guys aren't going to like this, but I eyeballed it, right? What I did was I found, and I based it off of the opening here, the opening for the shoulder connection, right? So what I did was I looked at this outline of this mechanism here, right? And I wanted to see, okay, so I had some open space here, I had some open space here, and then this just so happened, if I placed a strip there, it just so happened to line up. So that was pure luck. So I measured from this point over and down to locate this hole, and then from this point down and over to locate that point, and then transferred over to this piece and just kind of drilled through and hoped for the best, really. So that's kind of how I located where those pins would go on this particular piece. So hopefully you can do that with whatever you're working with too, right? So there you go. Blue Tack, the real sponsor tonight, like and subscribe. Nice. Travis Gopal, he got it. Nice. Donnie says, almost, but what if already had those pegs and just wanted to mark where they landed? Okay. A bit more of a conundrum, right? At that point, so what Donnie's saying is that his part, these pegs are already pre-existing. They're molded in. They're natural to the piece, right? How would you then locate them on a new piece, right? I think that's what Donnie's talking about. Hopefully. So again, it's one of those things where you kind of have to weigh your options, You're not going to like this. What I personally would do is clip off the existing pegs and drill for new ones. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would clip the existing pegs off, drill for new ones, and know that where I locate the pins when I drill through the armor and into the inner frame, I know for a fact that those are going to be located 100% exactly where I want them, right? With existing pegs, and I know Like and Subscribe kind of said, you know, paint tipped. Well, the problem that you run into is, what if they're not long enough to, you know, contact whatever piece that is, then you're SOL, right? But I do like where your head's at, and sometimes that'll work. It's toss-up. Again, me personally, I'm probably going to cut those pegs and locate new ones. That's just what I would do. So, Donnie says, let's see. Travis Gopal actually first said probably could just put sticky tack on the piece receiving the pins. You know, well, and that's another thing that you could potentially do is this, right? So imagine, if you will, for a second, guys, this is all completely natural. It's supposed to be there, right? You get your sticky tack, right, or whatever, and this is hard. This is going to be a little difficult because this is cold, and you know you shouldn't usually need this stuff to get it pliable and softer and stuff like that. But what you can do, and I've done this on some occasions, it's a little tricky, I'm not going to lie, is you put your blue tack or whatever it is on the bare piece that doesn't have any holes or anything like that, right? And then very carefully align your piece and then press into that blue tack and then very carefully remove it, and there you've got an indentation of where that peg is, right? Now, this is the thing to keep in mind. That method will work. It's going to take a little bit of finesse, and it may not be necessarily 100% accurate the first time you try it. Please keep that in mind. So, it's another option. It's another option. Like I said, me personally, I'll clip the pegs, drill new holes, drill new pegs every single time to know that it's 100% properly located exactly where I want it to be. Call me glutton for punishment, but I would rather have accuracy than, you know, save time at that point. It's just me. That's just me. Donnie says, I was wetting the tip of the pegs and putting it... Hey, Christopher Carty. Thank you for the subscribe, buddy. Welcome to the Mecha Army. There you are. Nice. But Donnie says, I was wetting the tip of the pegs and putting it on there real quick to try and mark it. Wetting the tip of the pegs with with magic marker, I mean. Yeah, I've done that too. But then again, like I said, if those pegs aren't necessarily long enough to come in contact with that inner frame, you're SOL, right? It's one of those things. Donnie says, sorry for the spam. Dude, don't do that. Don't apologize. No, we're in this to learn. We're making progress, dude. Don't apologize. Other people are learning from this process. You don't need to apologize to me, Donnie. Come on now. Edward Leonard says you can make transfer punches by putting points on rods that fit into the hole a little taller than the hole. That's actually a decent idea, yeah. And then what you could potentially do, if you had these little guys, I have these little locating pins. And these are great. And if you guys don't have these, and if you guys are trying to locate parts and stuff like that, especially resin, these are awesome. They just come in little packs of 5, right? And what these are are these are just like, there's, like I said, little locating pins, right? So you've got a long insertion pin here that's exactly 1 millimeter in diameter. So you drill a 1 millimeter hole wherever you want your pin to start out at, and then you cram this sucker in here, and it's got this little locating little pin like needle head on the other side, and then you smash your other part onto there, leaves a little indentation on that other part. So now you have a properly located piece. Now, these are great for resin when you're marrying up two kind of flat pieces. You could potentially do what Edward's talking about, and putting like little pilot pins in the existing holes, and then kind of drilling these in, drilling a millimeter hole on top of those pins and putting these guys in there. That could potentially work. But yeah, all these are ideas, right? But seriously, these little locating pins are worth their weight in gold, you guys. I got these. Where did I get these? I think I got these off Taobao. But I know you can get these on like eBay and stuff like that for really, really inexpensively. So check Adam. Do you carry Adam? I don't even know if Adam's on. Adam, look into getting these locating pins if you don't have them, buddy. Just a suggestion. Just a suggestion. Anyway, like and subscribe. Paint tipped holes. Yes, all that stuff. Paint and maybe a bit of peg shortening. Bingo. Yep. Exactly. 01 shield. Ascension Industries put paint on the pegs and put the part into place on the mark the spot. Yep, all that. We already covered all that, so that's all good there. I like where you guys' heads are at. Julio Ponte says fill the new piece with blue tack, push the pegs into it. Yep, just like we just did. Like and subscribe. Pen vise out ID and add metal tips. Yeah, exactly what we kind of just showed. Man, you guys are on the ball tonight. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. Y'all are making me proud right now. Donnie says, good tip, thanks. Disclaimer, I've never tried that before, but I like your method, Tim. Learn something new. Dude, you know, most of the stuff that you're doing right now is not something that you've ever done, and you're smashing it out of the park. So I have a fairly high level of confidence you can pull it off, Donnie. Come on now. Edward Leonard says, plus you need to have a point to not go off center. Right. Julio has a...
We have a question.
Could you do the same thing with magnets instead of rods? Absolutely. 100%. If you look at the arm modifications that we did with this elbow armor, right? If you guys remember this is all held in with just magnets here, right? Just like that. So what I did, if you remember correctly, this was one of the original... Oop, it'd be good if it was on camera, right? This is one of the original arms. This is the donated kit from James 2K2, Jimmy Spider 2K2, Jimmy 2.0. And it has this, big peg on here that slotted into, this rather, large hole, and that just kind of popped on there, and you had your elbow piece, right? Well, the problem that we ran into is that we have that crushed arm that we're going to be using, and then I wanted these to be a little bit easier to paint, so ba-boom. Yeah, you could do the exact same thing with these magnets. Abso-freaking-lutely. Just like that. And it's on both sides too, and on both arms. Yeah, perfectly located, I might add. So, yeah. You can absolutely do the same thing with magnets. You just need to make sure that there's clearance between the armor and the inner frame for your magnets to sandwich together. So as long as you have that, then you should be good. Now, if it's wider than what those two magnets are, then you can, you can kind of create plastic shims to, push those magnets together a little bit farther and a little bit better. But yeah, those are open options as well. So good call. Good call. Oh, Travis said that. Disclaimer, I've never tried that before, but I like your method. Sorry, dude, I saw Donnie's comment right above yours, Travis, and I thought it was still Donnie, so that's my bad. But Travis, dude, you can do the same thing. Come on now, Don't do that. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Julio says, like, instead of drilling new holes and all that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like and subscribe. I always learned the real lessons are when you get the teacher off topic and onto a tangent. Yeah. And this is kind of where we go a lot of the times, right? You know, when people have questions, we stop. We answer the question. And then everybody learns, right? Exactly. Exactly. Ascension Industries, oh, those are cool. Yeah. I mean, dude, magnets are just so awesome to work with. I'm not going to lie. There's just something so satisfying with that snap when the magnets, that little, yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's weird, but it is very satisfying. Lycan says, check for clearance. Yeah, exactly, right? Travis Gopal says, I was going to let it slide. But I didn't. All right, good deal. Parched from all the damn talking that we're doing, but I don't mind it, right? I don't mind it. All right, so let's get this crud off of here, and let's get this guy back together and off to the side, and then we'll get back to it. Put him off to the side, put the arms off to the side, and let's bring this guy back in here real quick, because we need to just kind of just tidy this up a bit, right? Because the angles are just a little off. So we need to shave a little bit more down there at the bottom. Yeah, on both sides. All right. So what we need to do is we need to hold this at this angle. To get the proper alignment angle here. And then it's getting better. It's getting better. It's not bad. Not exactly happy with it, but literally no one's ever going to see that gap. They're just not, right? They're never going to see that. But in a rare instance, you know, say if the Zaku is coming off its foot or something like that, like this, you may catch a glimpse of that plate up in there, right? You may catch a glimpse of that plate. Now, what we can do is we can maybe do, some minor detailing on that. Very, very little, very subtle. But, yeah. So, honestly, now that I look at this, I'm not going to dick around with getting these angles perfect. Because, like I said, no one is ever really going to see it at this point. So, with that being said, we're going to actually apply a couple little details, like I said, just little things onto this to make it kind of just pop, just in case someone sees a weird angle or something, right? Just in case. So, let's see here. We want something kind of small, subtle, right? We want subtlety. Subtlety for something like this is, in my opinion, crucial, right? No. All right. You know what? I'm happy with these here. So what we're going to do, these little itty-bitty guys right up yonder here, these little square ones, that's what we're going to use. That's what we're going to do. Spider2K2 James 2.0 says, Tim, I will make it my life goal to see that gap when this is finished. Nice. Nice. Thank you, James. Appreciate that, buddy. Oh, man. All right. So let's get these two of these. Let's get two of these little guys off of here. Ever so carefully, because they are tiny little parts. There we go. And we'll put that off to the side. And let's get our eyes back on because these are tiny parts. And we got to see what the hell we're doing. Now, if you see that there, we've got to trim that nub off because I'm going to know it's there. And I just can't, I couldn't live with myself if we left that on there. Because, you know, we don't leave nubs. We don't leave seam lines. We don't leave mold lines. Just the way that it is. Just the way that it is. Boom. All right, let's double check that, shall we? Clean. All right, so we've got our two clean little parts there, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to put these little guys in both corners here of this particular piece. Real simple. Real simple. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stab these guys here, and we're just gonna pop these on with a little drop of super glue. Nothing crazy. We're not going to get insane with this. But what we are going to do is we're going to get a scrap piece of plastic here to act as a little palette. I think I had something before. Yeah, right here. Here we go. Here we go. Just this little failed scrap thin piece here. And boom, just a little drop there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to get another little scrap piece of plastic. Just going to apply just a leisurely amount of super glue there, right? Now, what we're going to do, we are going to locate this. Just eyeballing it. Nothing crazy. Just like that. Yeah, I like the look of it already. And then get its little brother over here. And we're going to just eyeball the other side here ever so carefully. Just like that. Easy peasy, right? So now, when we go to pop this guy on here, just like that, and the foot flexes up, like it do, you've got that, just that little pop, just that little hint of detail, right? Just a little something, something. And when the, son of a bitch, when this is over top of it, and when the foot is flexed, let's say that it's maybe moving like that, kind of like in a push-off type of stance, right? And say you just happen to get a glimpse under there. Oh, look, it's detail. Yes. It's detail. It's not sparse, and it's not left barren. It's cared for, right? That's attention to detail, you guys. That's attention to detail, right? That's what you want to focus on. You want to make sure that even just the littlest thing on your model gets a little bit of love. Yeah, there you go. Brandon over there on YouTube, he says, you have a circle cutter for plot plate, don't you, Tim? Does it work decent? Sick of trying to cut it out by hand. I have a circle cutter, but I don't use it for plastic sheet. I use it strictly for masking tape. Now, what I do for cutting circles and stuff like that, or round parts or whatever, is I use this guy right here. This is the U-Star right here. There's the model number if you guys want to take a looky look. 800 UA, excuse me, UA 80026 www.ustarhobby.tw or .taiwan. So I really like using this because it's a basically it's just a metal circle template, right? And I'll use just a general scriber. This is just just your pen style scriber. And then what I normally do, say for something like this, is I'll just pop it on a piece of plastic here and just very lightly start to scribe that circle, and then start to apply pressure evenly, and then obviously reverse direction as well. And what you'll end up with is a nicely, there we go, now you can see it in the highlights there, a nicely scribed little circle. And then all I do after that is just take my nippers and nip around the edges of it, and you've got a perfect little circle shape out of plastic. So that's kind of what I do. But you can do the same thing with a plastic one. This is what is this? This is by the See-Through company right there. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. Yeah, See-Through. And this type of circle template is extremely common in most craft stores. Your Michaels, your Joann Fabrics, AC Moore, places like that. Very, very common there. If there are any drafting shops anymore around, which I doubt that there are, you can find them there. Stationary places, Staples and Office Depot, places like that. You can find them pretty easily. So, yeah. Brandon says, was going about it wrong. I was using my hobby knife. I'll try that tomorrow. Yeah. Just use like a little, like I said, this is just like a pen type scriber with a carbide tip. That works really well. And then just kind of trim around the scribe. Makes it easy. Edward Leonard says, I worked at an automation machine manufacturing business, and we used magnets at opposite poles to float metal tool holder apparatus with tools on them. Damn. So that would float and auto align with the parts that needed to be inserted. They needed to contact with magnets are wonderful. I agree. Magnets are wonderful, man. Travis Gopal signing off, Tim. Dude, Travis, have a great night, man. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it, buddy. So yeah, but I agree with Edward. Magnets are wonderful. Anyway, all right, let's go camera one. Let's finish this bad boy out. It's 12:03. The gym is calling my name, you guys. It's beckoning me. So anyway, all right. So Monday's in the can, guys. If you are interested in seeing Mecha Decals in your local hobby store or anime, pop culture store, whatever, go in there, make a request to whoever you need to do, and tell them to check out USAGundamStore.com for wholesale opportunities. So attractive pricing for wholesale. And if you are a store, working at a store or owning a store or something like that, watching it, hit up USA Gundam Store for more information. So, yes. Brandon wants to know what time I get up in the morning. I don't go on a lot of sleep, trust me. I have kind of trained myself to be good on like 4 to 6 hours, dude. So, yeah. No rest for the wicked, man. No rest for the wicked. Anyway. All right, so you guys, hey, if you guys want one of these cool Tetons shirts, or Titans, as us normal people call them, you should go definitely to www.shadamecha.com. Hit up the little store button up there at the top. You'll find shirts and hats and bags and whatever else I might throw on there at the time. And if you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we have worked with here tonight, boom, right down there, yonder, is a good old Amazon link on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on the good old Facebooks. We got a bunch of stuff on there, tools and materials, books for inspiration, camera gear if you're into streaming, other cool stuff on there as well. I get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it goes to help out the stream. Case in point, the microphone, the new little monitor to help make things easier, the stream deck with all the cool little buttons and stuff, and I gotta make more of those. I like them. Hopefully you guys like them too, but if you don't, too bad. Anyway, and if you are if you in need of kits and paints and tools and other stuff like that, hit up our boy Mr. Adam and his crew down there at USA Gundam Store. You can get some Mecha Decals and stuff like that. But aside from that, you guys, I am going to be back here on Wednesday, and we'll pick this up. Hopefully we'll do a little bit less talking, even though it's fun. Yeah, even though it's fun. Spider2K2 says, I'm about to jump on to Oculus VR for some Beat Saber cardio workout. Get some! Persistent Turtles over there on YouTube, he says, do you have a shot of Mecha Decals for say, car windows? Yeah. I do. Message me on the back end, and I'll hook you up, dude. Yeah. So, people say the same shit about me, Julio. Nice. I don't sleep. Well, you got a weird work schedule, though, dude. So, it's one of those things. Anyway. Ricky Paul Carlson's 32 watching and only 5 thumbs up. Shameful. Man, it's not a big deal, man. We're not in it for that. We're not in it for that. So, all right. Boys and girls, children of all ages, I thank you for watching. This has been an amazing Monday night stream. We'll be back here, like I said, on Wednesday to keep kicking this thing in its ass. Tune in tomorrow to Mr. George, Old School Gumpla, where you got some heathen messages tonight. You're going to get redeemed tomorrow on Church Tuesdays. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. It's just fun. Anyway. All right, you guys, have a great Tuesday, man. Build something cool. Be safe out there. And I'll see you on Wednesday. All right? Bye, guys.